running back. Raheem Mostert.
No.
Gone.
But he is a vital piece to this offense. And I think that people are
He's one of my favorite
downplaying.
players of all time, but he's gone.
But I think people are downplaying what's happened with him not in the lineup. And I think that a lot of people saying, Mitchell's a mini Mostert, that's disrespectful to Raheem Mostert. And I'm going to tell you why. Here's two things that Elijah Mitchell doesn't have that Mostert has. One, obviously the speed. That's something that, no one in this league is duplicating, right?
Right.
But I think it's the gap identification, putting his foot in the ground, and then being able to make the cutback move. And I think that Elijah Mitchell can maybe develop close to that, but he doesn't have that right now. And I think that a lot of what the struggles of this offense is that this offense was reliant on the idea that Raheem Mostert was going to be here. And I think that you are downplaying Raheem Mostert when you say things like Elijah Mitchell is mini Mostert. Just because a guy is fast and straightaway speed doesn't mean that he has the cutbacks, doesn't mean that he has the vision, doesn't mean that he has the gap recognition to be the running back that he is. And Elijah Mitchell has been great. And that is not even slighting Elijah Mitchell in any way. He's been great. But I think you're downplaying Raheem Mostert a little bit when you talk about him in that fashion.
Agree. So Mostert's going to be gone. Jeff Wilson Jr. most likely gone, although he could be another guy like Dwelly or Azeez Al-Shaair that they re-signed for cheap. But I don't expect them to. They also have Trey Sermon, who they love. Elijah Mitchell. So they got Hasty. Mitch. Is Hasty going to be – let's see if Hasty's going to be here next year. I don't know if Hasty's going to be here next year. They cut him a bunch of times, right?
Yeah.
I imagine he's not.
Or stash him on the practice squad.
Yeah. So he's a free agent. So they could bring him back. But essentially they have Mitchell and Sermon for next year. That's the guy running back.
They're going to have to bring someone else in.
They're going to have to play Sermon at some point. See what they got there. He's half of their running back room next year. And Juszczyk.
Yeah, that counts.
They need to play Sermon. Them playing Hasty over Sermon against the Colts was frustrating. What was that? It's not like Hasty was playing well. How bad is Sermon?
Okay. Here's the problem. All right. My goodness, man. And I'm going to go back to 2019. Tevin Coleman isn't necessarily exactly what you wanted a running back, right? But Kyle Shanahan used him like a boxer uses a jab. And he used him to get those tough runs inside zone, maybe a little bit of outside zone. But he identified where he could unleash Raheem Mostert on. And I feel like that's how you have to use Trey Sermon at this point. And it's funny because when we pulled up to camp, he was the one running in front of Mostert. And they brought Mostert in here and there. And it was like 1A, 1B type thing. Yeah. I have no idea what Trey Sermon did to fall out of favor. It is baffling. And then when you think about this, they traded up in the third round. Yeah. In the third round for him, man.
How do you go from liking someone that much to disliking someone that much in 6 months? How does it go? Doesn't make any sense.
And for the people who tell me all the time, oh, the draft's a crapshoot, you play who's better, you are discounting the fact that you've whiffed on a third round pick who is supposed to play, a second round pick who's going to be redshirted, your first round pick who's probably not going to play until something drastic happens at quarterback. Like, don't tell me about what's going to happen next year. These are supposed to be impact players immediately. And I think that's what should frustrate 49er fans more than anything, especially because Trey Lance is their first round pick next year.